The bustling metropolis of São Paulo, Brazil, came to a standstill as catastrophic floods wreaked havoc across the city, serving as a grim reminder of the intensifying effects of climate change. In what meteorologists described as a once-in-a-century downpour, the relentless rain caused unprecedented destruction. The Brazilian National Institute of Meteorology revealed that São Paulo recorded 125.4 millimeters of rainfall in just one day, the third highest since records began in 1961. Alarmingly, 82 millimeters of that fell in just 1 hour, overwhelming the city's drainage systems and paralyzing its infrastructure. As the torrents of rain poured down, São Paulo descended into chaos. Streets morphed into rivers, sweeping away cars and cutting off access to major roads. Subway stations flooded, leaving thousands stranded as metro lines and bus routes were suspended. Dramatic videos shared online captured scenes of residents wading through waist-deep water, desperately searching for safety, while vehicles were swallowed by powerful currents. The disaster triggered widespread power outages, leaving more than 166,000 homes in darkness.
Pedro, eu tô morrendo de medo. Olha aqui a porta do gol.
Это видео.
Entire neighborhoods grappled with the blackout, making rescue operations even more challenging. Emergency crews worked around the clock to restore electricity, but the sheer scale of the outages laid bare the city's aging and vulnerable infrastructure. Adding to the crisis, sections of the metro system, a lifeline for millions of commuters, were shut down due to waterlogged tunnels and stations. Structural damage across the city compounded the devastation. In the northern district, part of a shopping mall's roof collapsed under the sheer weight of accumulated water. Fortunately, no injuries were reported, but the incident underscored how unprepared urban structures are for such extreme weather. Hospitals, schools, and homes were also inundated, forcing many to flee to emergency shelters set up by authorities and local organizations.
Espero que não tenha ninguém dentro, meu. Não tem ninguém dentro, graças a Deus, desse aqui.
The cultural and economic heart of São Paulo took a heavy blow. Iconic carnival celebrations, a highlight of the city's calendar, were cancelled in several neighborhoods as resources shifted toward relief efforts. Businesses already reeling from the economic aftershocks of the pandemic faced further losses due to property damage and supply chain disruptions. Beyond the urban centers, farms in surrounding areas were submerged, destroying crops and putting farmers' livelihoods at risk. In response, the Brazilian government pledged emergency aid to support affected families and announced ambitious plans to modernize infrastructure to prevent similar disasters in the future. President Luiz Carvalho addressed the nation, urging the adoption of climate adaptation strategies and emphasizing the importance of international collaboration to combat the global climate crisis. This tragedy is a stark reminder of the reality we face with climate change, he said. Proactive measures are no longer optional, they are essential. Amid the devastation, stories of resilience and solidarity emerged. Communities banded together to provide food, clothing, and shelter to those in need. Volunteers organized relief efforts, while social media became a lifeline for sharing critical information, identifying missing persons, coordinating aid, and mapping safe routes through the flooded city. Environmental experts and urban planners have called the São Paulo floods a wake-up call for cities worldwide. The disaster highlighted the vulnerabilities of urban areas to extreme weather, particularly in fast-growing cities with aging infrastructure. Many are advocating for comprehensive urban planning measures, such as expanding green spaces to improve drainage, upgrading sewer systems, and designing flood-resistant buildings. The flooding also reignited debates over environmental degradation and deforestation in Brazil.
Mana? Iya, itu mobil merah-merahnya sana, ya ampun. Di dalam itu.
Di sana juga.
Iya, untung kita cepat nyampe tadi ya. Kalau enggak, aduh susah juga.
Experts pointed to the rapid urban sprawl and loss of vegetation around Sao Paulo as significant factors that exacerbated the disaster. Without natural vegetation to absorb rainfall, runoff intensified, increasing the likelihood of flash floods. Advocacy groups have called for stricter enforcement of environmental regulations and more investment in reforestation initiatives to mitigate these risks. As Sao Paulo begins the long road to recovery, the city's ordeal serves as a sobering lesson. It underscores the urgent need for cities to adapt to the growing realities of climate change and to build resilience against the increasing threat of extreme weather events. For Sao Paulo and countless other urban centers around the globe, the time to act is now.